at 4 Pines Park. Manly defending the new academy end, the Bob Fulton stand end of 4 Pines Park. Jamie Humphries, who played time off the bench last week in the dummy half role, will be in the halves tonight, and he gets us underway. The kickoff goes down to be taken there by Sione Hopewadi, famous name in these parts, quite obviously the Hopewadi clan. And it is Takura who'll play it just inside the 20 for the Broncos. They work it away with Corey Pakes at dummy half, in the top 30 for the Broncos, but had been offered to some Super League clubs in the off-season. Maybe number 4 now, at least number 3 on the depth chart as far as the hooking role is concerned for the Broncos, behind Billy Walters and also Tyson Smoothie. They're back within range of the halfway line from Kurt Falls, the former Panther. Tucks it back on the inside. To the right-hand side they go, where Falls puts the kick in down towards Bailey Hodgson, the former Newcastle Knight lower grader. The Englishman brings it back with speed. He's a real live wire type, not the biggest body you've ever seen. He certainly has some skill. Drama-free opening set for the Broncos as Manly roll up their sleeves and work it away from their own end. Max Lehman there playing on that left-hand side of the field, along with Cameron Brown inside him. Here is Sipley, who will miss the opening weeks of the season proper after that crusher tackle last week, which has ruled Dom Young out for the Roosters in the round 0 games in Vegas.
Yeah, Brandon Wakeham there down the short side, then skipped back across the ruck, looking to pick up his 5'8", Jamie Humphries, but threw the ball way too hard. All he had to do was pop it up for him, and Humphries was in a bit of space. But the ball just ricocheted off his body. Pass from Wakeham, much too hard.
Here's Falls, one off the play. The ball comes back to Rory Ferguson, who takes it down just outside the 20. So the first real scoring chance of the game goes to the Broncos. It's Pakes through the hands of Rogers. Good out ball there. Big tackle to be made on Hoyter, who will play it 10 metres out from the line. From Rogers, he finds Falls, who thought about kicking, offloads it to Toya. He'll be stopped there by Wakeham. And they've got one more here. Falls again, getting plenty of touches. A wild pass out the back, cleaned up there. A chance to race away for Watson Haleta. And then a penalty given away by Hopewadi for stealing the ball on the ground. And Manly will work it away from their own end. Let's go downstairs to Darcy McDonald.
Good evening, Warren, Greg and everyone tuning in. Well, it's a gloomy day in Sydney, 21 degrees at ground level. Not much of a breeze, but it's been sprinkling on and off during the afternoon. I'm happy to report, though, we should be in the clear for the rest of the night. Now, the weather won't dampen the spirits of these players. A mixture of up-and-comers and older heads all looking to make a statement, and there's no better opportunity to do that than in an NRL trial.
No, you're exactly right. Here is Sipley, who brings it back to the halfway line. Chan Kum Tong goes through the hands of Madison and then on to Tarsi James, the former Tiger. Short side here, Humphries out the back for Hodgson, who takes them on. They hurt him towards the sideline. He does well in the end to stay just in the field of play. From Brown, Humphries, and now Chan Kum Tong, Dean Madison, the brother of Ryan Madison, got a taste first grade last year with the Seagulls. 6 more tackles here, a restarted set back on the inside for Sipley to offload from Madison. Comes back to James, and they'll set themselves with a bit of depth on this right-hand side. Brad Parker, edge forward, playing in the 11 jersey. It's a roll he'll feel, and here he is, pouring through a hole, right on cue. Parker scores the opening try for Manly.
That was a lovely ball there from Jamie Humphries. We saw a couple of wayward passes, one from Brandon Wakeham, the other from the Broncos number 7, Kurt Falls, which turned the ball over up the other end of the field, and then they put on a right side shift, and Jamie Humphries, beautiful catch and pass there, dragged in a couple of the defenders in front of him, squared them up, put Brad Parker into some space, and the Brad Parker experiment at the back row continues, and I think it's a good move for the Seagulls. I think it's where Brad Parker is more suited these days. He's a good defender. He runs a good line, as we've just seen there. I think he can be very handy backup for the Seagulls in the back row.
Especially when you consider, of course, that Josh Schuster is making a move into a full-time edge forward role himself, but has picked up plenty of injuries in his time, and again will miss game time early in 2024 with another calf muscle injury. So Brad Parker will see, I'm sure, plenty of game time off the bench for Anthony Seibold in 2024 in that role. And he's always run such a nice line playing in the centres. Defends tough, certainly has the body to defend a couple closer to the action. Ran a very nice line right there.
He certainly did, crashing over for Manly's first try.
So Humphries, who's a sharpshooter, trying to make it 6-0. Manly went down last week to the Roosters, so their chances of winning the pre-season challenge as Humphries converts. They were done and dusted last week because the Roosters are 2 from 2 and they lead everybody, as we saw on the ladder. 28 points to their credit. It's 6-0 here at Brookie.
Well, it's a new era for Brad Parker. He's played over 100 games in the centres, but is now transitioning to the second row. He's really excited about the change and not intimidated by the competition for spots. His goal is to nail down a starting spot during the season, but knows it's probably going to take a bit of time, especially given the off-season he had. He had clean-out surgery on his knee, developed a staph infection, which then turned into sepsis. He spent 12 days in hospital, but thankfully he's back to full health.
And that is a situation that he has to contend with, and has done for a number of seasons now, as Manly almost cough it up from the restart there. The pressure on Haletta to bring it back. He plays it just outside the 20, but those ongoing knee issues is something Brad Parker has had to deal with. And there is Josh Schuster on the front row of the bench with some lively types sitting alongside him. Humphries. Good carry there. Split his time between being a backup in the halves and also the dummy half role this season. Good carry by Atasi James. Manly back at the halfway line. 4 tackles gone in this set. And now stepping through the middle of the park. A chance there for Hodgson to show what he can do. And he's a couple of nice carries already. Wakeham here to the air, coming forward. Hopewadi just relaxing with the ball as it came to him. We'll wrap it up and play it here just outside the 10. Under overcast skies, a little bit of rain earlier on, no sign at the moment. Any sprinkles here on the northern beaches of Sydney. Ethan O'Neill, son of Julian O'Neill, playing it there in the middle of the field. And now here is Dakura. 6'9" by 5 centimetres, Brandy, the tallest player on the NRL scene in 2024.
We've got a couple of big ones.
Yeah, a couple of inches taller than
Nelson.
Dominic Young, same height as Nelson Asafa-Solomona. Now a kick, good grab there. What a take that was by Max Lehman.
Great take. Wow, that kick was very close to the touchline, and nothing harder for an outside back trying to take a ball that's close to the touchline. You're not sure where the line is itself as you're looking up at the ball, but that was very well done, Max Lehman. Terrific stuff. Arms up over his head.
Could have easily knocked it on. Now here is Clayton Faulolo, who's a try scorer extraordinaire, certainly in the lower grades. He scored a good one as well last week on that right-hand side for the Seagulls in the first half against the Roosters in Gosford, as Chan Kum Tong waits here at dummy half. Madison goes to Humphries. Ben Condon on that left-hand side, a chance there to pop it out the back. It was knocked on, though, by the Seagulls.
Well, that was Bailey Hodgson who knocked it on, and it was a tough one to take. Ben Condon, he really threw that ball out hard. Just watch how hard it hits Bailey Hodgson, flicks it out. That's a tough take. And he's shown a couple of times, Hodgson. Didn't pull that one in, but he is a handful for the defence, and you've got to make sure you're in front of him because those feet move pretty quick.
He's always had plenty of speed in his 3 seasons prior to this, the Newcastle Knight system in the New South Wales Cup. He's beset by injury, especially back in 2022, a couple of elbow dislocations in the same season. Oh, good tackle here. Watson Haletta getting up under the ribs there of Ethan Kai Ward. Just stopped him like he was hit by a freight train. Terrific tackle. The Broncos stay on the attack. Watch it again. Under the ribs. Drives him back. That is as good as it gets. Still here, just outside the 30, but that tackle by Haletta certainly robbed them of any momentum. Well, now they've got 6 more tackles, so they'll build from here. At the 20. The coaching staffs and players of both teams and the top squad watching on from the US as we speak. The Broncos go on the attack. Another set restart as Pakes waits at dummy half, shows it to Falls, comes across to Rogers instead. Standing in the tackle there, taken down by Humphries with some help over the top from Condon. 2 plays gone. Deep left-hand side as Falls turns it underneath there for Bailey Butler. Taking some stopping Butler. It was Parker eventually who chopped him down within reach of the line. Now a chance for Takura. Good stop by Parker and Sipley once again. They've got 2 plays left. Come out to Falls. Oh, chance there. Toya had a little look. Picked up here. They're racing away through Faulolo, who had Wakeham back on the inside. Couldn't link up with him, but Manly off the hook. And now a chance for a counter-attack as they spread it. From Chan Kum Tong to Humphries. Goes over the top. Lehman has to wait for it. But Manly just like that back on the attack.
Yeah, nice job there from Faulolo. He had a good game too last week against the Roosters. Clayton Faulolo. A prolific try scorer in the New South Wales Cup last year. 29 tries in 24 games. Very good season, and part of the top 30 will be next year.
Now, Hodgson tipping it on there and wrapped up. Here is Faulolo, who got absolutely hammered by Hopewadi, and he is a bit sick and sorry. It looked promising for the Seagulls until this moment here. Was it a head clash between the 2 of them?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yes, definitely. Just worried about catching the ball, and as he looked up, Hopewadi was all over him. Zeroed in, and I'd be surprised if he stays out there, Faulolo. That was quite an impact, wasn't it?
It certainly was. For the moment, he remains on the field as Chan Kum Tong goes through Madison. Humphries does well. Into space was Brown, and then on the left-hand side, Lehman scores. Terrific hands. Humphries going to the line, holding it up and putting Brown into space. Lehman does the rest.
Well, we saw Jamie Humphries pop up a beautiful ball for Brad Parker in the opening try for the Seagulls. This one was even better because it also contained a bit of footwork. Just watch the right foot step just to get on the outside, then straighten up and draw in the centre, Hoyter. That was terrific ball playing from Jamie Humphries. And they are confident that they can turn him into a 9, and it looks like he might have even got the jump now on Gordon Chan Kum Tong. But his work on the edges this afternoon has been brilliant. That was a special piece of ball playing, that. The footwork and just holding up the pass, squaring up again after he beat the man on the inside, creating the space for his whole runner. Very, very good.
Beating one, drawing another, putting Brown away with Lehman finishing it off. The former Eels outside back, Max Lehman. Spent some time playing with the Brisbane Tigers in recent seasons. But Mac now, part of the world he knows pretty well. Came through the ranks as a Manly Seagulls junior before going to the Eels. There's the check for Clayton Faulolo. And as you said, Brandy, given the impact and his reaction to it, wouldn't be a surprise if he did come from the field here. Is that part of the test? Whack him in the left eye?
I haven't seen that one before.
Is that the on-field HIA? As
Doc, I can't see out of that eye. You just hit me in it.
Here's Humphries from the sideline. He can see them okay. This one swings away. But Manly lead 10 points to 0.
Well, Max Lehman got the points, but what about the skill we're seeing from young Jamie Humphries in these opening minutes? Manly fans are quite excited about Jamie, and for good reason too. He was voted Players' Player in Jersey Flegg last season and is expected to be a big part of the club's long-term future. He has begun transitioning into a hooker midway through last season. That started happening, but his history as a half means he can jump in at 6 or 7 and do quite a good job, as we're seeing. He's been really strong on wanting to make an impact this year, which is why he skipped any off-season holidays and spent just about every day at the gym to bulk up.
Son of the former Manly CEO, Stephen Humphries, grandson of former New South Wales Rugby League Secretary Kevin Humphries. Plenty of football lineage on the park here today, as Wakeham makes the catch from the kick-off, and it's simply to bring it back. Very apologetic in the days after the incident last week that Dominic Young realised he got the tackle very wrong. Of course, as we know, Young, with precautions, ruled out of that game next week against the Broncos in Vegas on Sunday afternoon, which you'll see live right here on Fox League. Manly working it back to the middle through Chan Kum Tong. Here's Madison looking to his outside, wrapped up there pretty quickly though by Pakes and also Butler. Hodgson back into the set, play number 5. Fullbacks run right there, gets a quick play the ball off the back of it. And Wakeham puts it in the air. Faulolo coming through to put pressure on Hopewadi, trying to return the serve. Made the catch. Backwards off Parker. Likewise from Wakeham. It's anybody's ball now. Grant Atkins worked that one out. He says Manly knock on.
No, I think he got it right too. There wasn't a knock-on from the Broncos until late in the piece. There've been a few from Manly by that stage. But Clayton Faulolo, terrific take up above the Broncos' defence there. Brandon Wakeham had a chance but couldn't scoop it up. And it was Cameron Brown getting checked out by the doctor. It wasn't Clayton Faulolo. It was Cameron Brown who ran over to the other side of the field. So he'd obviously copped a knock in the head in the lead up to that try. He was the one that received the pass off Jamie Humphries.
The Broncos off the back of that little scare, work it away from their own end. Ferguson here, spinning his way almost back to the halfway line. Just on 15 minutes gone. 4 Pines Park, Manly on top of the Broncos. 10 points to nil. Big Ben Takura here. 37 out when he plays at pace. They came up very quickly there. Condon jamming in from the left edge, making sure they weren't going anywhere in a hurry. Got up in the face there of Cooper Page Wilson. Kick towards the corner. Haleta under pressure, makes a good catch. And there's going to be a penalty here to the Broncos. Is there contact on the kicker?
Contact on the kicker, I understand that.
Josh Rogers, his leg extended there, then Brent Parker almost helps him to the ground, and the referee didn't like the nature of the contact.
Well, if the player's leg's in the air, you almost can't make contact. Well, what has to happen is the kicker cannot go to the ground. You nearly have to hold him up. If you get there and he looks like he's going to fall, you catch him and hold him there.
Well, the Broncos off the back of it. Have it here. Fall, stepping off the right foot. Gets across the line, and in trying to plant it down, he went very close. He has. He scored. Kurt Falls responds for the Broncos. They're on the board at 10 points to 4. Some nifty footwork close to the line.
Yeah, good stepping there from Kurt Falls. Made the move from the Panthers, signed to play for the Broncos. Will play Queensland Cup for Wynnum as he crashed into the two. Couple of small defenders there. Bailey Hodgson, the fullback, and Chan Kum Tong also tries to bring the halfback down, but not able to do it. Yeah, I thought when he left the Panthers that might be it. He's a builder by trade, and he started his career with Penrith late after becoming a tradesperson, and then thought, well, I'll give it a go, and he was at Penrith for 3 years, won a New South Wales Cup competition with them, played a few first-grade games, and I thought that would be it for Kurt Falls. He'd go back to the building, but Brisbane offered him an opportunity, and he's taken it up.
Was always highly regarded, came through the juniors with Nathan Cleary, no less. They were in the same St Dom's College team that won a premiership back in 2014, 10 years ago. Hard to believe. Here's Josh Rogers from right in front. Makes it a 4-point game, 10-6 it is. The Manly Seagulls over the Broncos here in week 2 of the pre-season challenge. It continues beyond full time tonight. Game 4 on this, again, mega-sized Super Saturday. Dragons up against the Tigers out at Mudgee and Glen Willow's Oval. Always a pristine playing surface out there. Looking forward to that. The Tigers, one of those 4 teams who can still take out the $100,000 by winning the pre-season challenge. They're on 14 points after their win last week against the Warriors. Broncos here, they are still very much alive. So are the Raiders. They'll play tomorrow, Seaford Oval. Famous old Seaford Oval. The Raiders versus the Cowboys. That's live tomorrow from 3 p.m. on Fox League. Of course, the Roosters lead everybody on 28 points after being 2 from 2 in their 2 pre-season trial games. And the Broncos work it away on the board here, playing it just outside the 20. Pake still there at dummy half. Blake Moser, young prodigy, was named in the starting side, will come off the bench. Here is Hoyter, left hand extended, wrapped up 10 short of the halfway line. Ferguson again. Back in the carry. In fact, it was Paige Wilson there who takes it back across the halfway line. Stepping here on to Cura. And they'll play it about 33 out from the Manly line. Pakes. A mismatch in size there between the dummy half and the front rower. Cura, Pakes there. Hodgson makes a good catch. Wraps it up just outside his 10. We're not quite midway through this opening half.
Just watching Ben Takura take that ball up after it was the other front rower who made quite a good run. And the footwork from Takura, like he's pretty light on his feet for a boy that's 6'9" and 125 kilos. When you watch Adam Fanua-Blake, he doesn't move his feet that much, but it's a late step. He leaves it right at the end. If I was a young front rower, I would copy that. And if you've got footwork at 6'9" and 125 kilos, you're able to do it. We just saw the footwork there, but the timing of it. If he can make it sort of like Fanua-Blake, where it's late and it's only one way at the death, oh, what a handful.
Absolutely. Here is Madison clutching the back of his neck after some attention in the tackle there. He plays it. Play continues on. Sione Hopewadi will bring it back towards Hodgson. And he'll play it eventually just outside the Broncos 20. 20 gone in this first half. Ty Ward will play it here. Good carry there. Momentum from the moment. He got across the advantage line. Ferguson. 3-man tackle to stop his progress. Austin Diaz is out there now in the front row for the Seagulls. On the right edge, Josh Stuckey. Taking the place of Jaden Hunt, who was withdrawn from this team. They will be headed to Las Vegas. Join the squad for the Broncos with concerns about Brendan Piakura. One more play here for the Broncos from Pakes. Comes back to Rogers, who puts it high in the air. Haleta standing underneath it, makes another good catch. They've bombed him a number of times, and he's been good so far.
They've got some good backup, the Broncos, don't they? Deloise Hoyter, very experienced and a good centre. We've got Kai Ward on this side, who's played a first-grade game, got one under his belt last year. Jordan Pereira on the wing, very good backup for the team that they've got. And although you've got Selwyn Cobbo coming into the centres, Dean Mariner is also there. Corey Oates on the wing. It's a pretty handy back five and then some at the Brisbane Broncos.
All the depth they would need to go one better than they did last year as Deloise Hoyter.
And that is covering, Herbie Farnworth moved on to the Dolphins, but they've still got Plenty of players that can fill the void.
Ventura back on the bench for the moment. He stands out in the crowd no matter where he goes. Wouldn't want to be sitting behind him at a Taylor Swift concert, would you? Especially with he's wearing a cowboy hat. Ball put down here. And Manly get a chance to come back at them. Mistake made by Joseph Tamane, who is the fresh man on the field. And cast your memory back to 2011 and earlier. No, you're not seeing things or hearing things. It is the same Joseph Tamane who began his rugby league career with the Melbourne Storm before moving on to the Gold Coast Titans. Left the NRL at the end of 2011. Went on to play rugby union and became a Wallaby and played 17 tests, no less, for the Wallabies before stints playing club rugby in Ireland and France and Japan. And he's back playing, trying to get his way back to playing in the NRL at 33 years of age.
I had to double check. When I saw Joseph Tomane's name, I thought, well, surely it can't be the same one, but it is.
Indeed it is. Here's Madison. Get towards the red zone. A chance for Faulolo on this right-hand side. He just went straight past Ethan Clyde Ward. Almost takes it all the way to try score. And a nose for the chalk. Watson Haleta. Slow delivery there to Wakeham, who had to wait. Chan Kum Tom gets them going. Humphries again gets in behind them but puts it down. Well, he'd done the hard work, found himself in space, and then a desperate hand just knocked it away from him.
He had the winger, and we'll just have a look at Clayton Faulolo, who, as we said, was very good for Manly last week in a beaten side against the Roosters. Couldn't get the ball to his support on the inside. Plenty of Broncos there, and I thought Jamie Humphries, who got, he went for the short pass. I thought he was getting himself ready for the long ball over the top, because the dummy and the fact that he got him behind them really dragged the defenders closest to him inside. He had two unmarked on the outside. Ben Condon just getting in the road of a long pass, which was the play.
He was just about away. Instead, Nano, who will play it, he's taken over on that right-hand side, so still in the centres. Big body that he is at 33 years of age. Fakes to the middle. Herrera comes in for a carry. We'll play it here. One more play. Corey Pakes from dummy half. He comes back to Falls, who will bomb away towards the letters wing once again. Hodgson had a look at him and realised the winger wasn't going to get there to make the catch. So it's the Englishman who makes the grab and plays it inside his 20. And now Haleta has to take the courageous run from a corner of the field into the teeth of the Broncos defence. Good carry there. Faulolo, Humphries, spread all inside their 20. Brown, a little touch. He puts it down and gives it straight back to Brisbane.
Was Brown not ready for that pass? Why did he just put a hand out and make contact with the ball and not try and catch it? Trying to shift out of trouble there, the Sea Eagles, not working.
Puts them under pressure here as Falls comes to Josh Paxton. Taking some stopping as well. First touch since coming off the bench. He's only a couple of metres out. Fakes, fires it to Falls. Now Rogers, first man option.
Good tackle.
Ethan O'Neill, good tackle again by Parker. Chopped him down one-on-one. Fakes as they work quickly. Falls goes close, looking for a second try. He puts it down as he comes up short, and he got a bit of treatment over the top as well.
Gee, they did have Manly on the rack after the mistake by Cameron Brown out on the left-hand side, and Kurt Falls just loses control of the ball. That's why the Sea Eagles were up and about. They defended their line, forced the error, and breathe a sigh of relief, does the left centre Cameron Brown.
Diaz on the line, just gave Kurt Falls a little welcome to Brookvale Oval. Sea Eagles here, 13 plus remaining in this first half. 2 tries to 1. Nice of them for the Sea Eagles early on. Tries in the 5th to Brad Parker, the 12th minute to Max Lehman. Before Kurt Falls was able to hit back. Humphries at dummy half, so it comes back to the middle. Here is Austin Diaz charging hard, going nowhere though. Good tackle by Cooper Page-Wilson, and he's forced a mistake. Got a bit to say, the front rower. He thought it was ripped out. Chance to challenge should they want to. Grant Atkins asking the question, and yes, Brandy.
This is great.
Here's the front rower challenge.
Live ruling of lost by Manly after the held. Challenging strip. Yeah.
Well, off the back of the Cameron Brown error, they've put the defence under pressure.
Looking to determine if there is a strip.
Austin Diaz
the Broncos.
definitely doesn't want to be defending his own line again. Oh. Well, he removed the hand.
Did he lose
Post
the ball
tackle,
before he
the
came
Broncos
to the ground?
player releases the jersey of the Manly ball carrier, and it's then his arm pulling the ball free. The challenge is successful.
I thought there might have been a hint that he actually knocked the ball on before that moment.
I think wingers and front rowers really have organised a meeting off-season and thought we need to be better, boys. As a group, we need to be better, and they are. They've improved out of sight.
Were you part of that meeting?
No.
Did they call on your expertise?
No, because I'm death riding the wingers and the front rowers.
That would have been a fascinating meeting. All the front rowers and all the wingers in the NRL in the one room looking back at challenges from last year and saying, boys, we've got to get better.
We can improve.
It's quite the visual. Chan Kum Tong here for Wakeham. Goes to Humphries. Hands to hang on to it. Under pressure there from the tackle of Josh Rogers. They're inside the 20 once again. Well, flat for Madison, even flatter there for Diaz, who was going nowhere, driven back pretty comfortably. Driving in was Paxton. Blake Moser also out there now in the headgear for the Broncos. Chan Kum Tong waits a dummy half. Madison playing it. Comes back to Wakeham, who kicks flat. Faulolo was there. He reached to the heavens. It falls for Sione Hopewadi. Knocked on, you'd think, by Manly anyway, in the in goal. And that'll be a 20-metre restart for the Broncos.
Well, that was a near thing for Manly, wasn't it? The kick from Brandon Wakeham, it was spot on. Really, they had a great play at the ball, both of them. They might have got in each other's road. Just one of them might have been enough.
So Moser out there now in the dummy half roll for Corey Pakes. I dare say, given the situation with the Broncos, and Corey Pakes the option to look around to see if he could secure a deal elsewhere in the NRL or possibly in the Super League as well. Moser is probably the reason for that now. Number 3 certainly in the depth chart behind, as we said, Billy Walters and also Tyson Smoothie. The 20-year-old has had massive raps on him all the way through his junior career. He's been part of the Broncos Academy since he was 13 years of age. Watch him work now from dummy half. He finds Kurt Falls, who will kick away to the right-hand side, chasing through. Pereira was there. Good catch made by Lehman, who's had some attention. A little nick above the left eyebrow, and they stop him inside the Manly 20. Humphries comes back to Cameron Brown. Made that mistake that had them under pressure. They survived. Here he is, though. Being driven backwards in a strong effort there by Page-Wilson. And a change made by the Broncos. Lolo Saitawa is also out there. So 2 certainly first choice or front line hookers on the field at the same time for the Broncos. Saitawa in the middle third, lock forward role for the moment. 6 tackles coming up again for the Seagulls. Uselli is out there, another change made by Wayne Lampkin in charge today of the Seagulls lineup. Matt Ballin, the former Seagull himself, is at the clipboard and the changes duties as the coach of the Broncos here today, an assistant for Kevin Walters again in 2024. Midway through this set, Humphries jumps into dummy half. Takes them on. He's been a handful, whether it's passing or running today. Madison comes across to Wakeham. And Parker there as an option. Goes back on the inside. Now Uselli goes close. He's only a metre out when he stopped. Manly have one more. Humphries from dummy half. Wakeham out the back. Faulolo
nice.
in behind Parker. They'll plant it down for Watson Haleta, but this will come back for an obstruction play. It's an old-fashioned shepherd, as called by Grant Atkins.
Brad Parker lead run.
Brad Parker, lead runner. Brandon
Looking
Wakeham.
at the run of Brad Parker. Brad Parker runs to the outside shoulder of the Broncos defender, denying the opportunity to slide across and defend. You have a decision.
Clayton Faulolo did a good job, but he certainly got some help from Brad Parker on the inside. Denied the Brisbane Bronco defender any chance to come across.
Time on.
No, very clear-cut one there. Gonna get to the inside shoulder or get through the line, so that'll be a learning curve for Brad Parker in this shift into the edge forward role, won't it? Tends to be the edge forwards who are running those lines who get caught up with defenders sliding out to try and get to the ball carrier. And the Broncos tap it and go through Ethan Quai-Ward. 15 short here of the halfway line. Moser under the Cameron Smith mould, as the scouts have told us now for the past 18 months, 2 years, as he's come through the ranks. Very heads up, cerebral player in the dummy half role. Heads it through Rogers and now falls. Stopping, pops it out the back. Moser does well, tips it on there. Deloise Hoyter trying to hurdle his way into the backfield. Stopped by Humphries. Quick play the ball though, and Moser sees that space, takes the metres and draws his team a penalty.
Knew what he was doing, didn't he? Blake Moser out of dummy half, just ran a direct line at the defence.
Remembering in the pre-season challenge, 5 tries being a bonus point, 5 line breaks a bonus point, 10 offloads a bonus point. So, but obviously this time of the year, point about going to penalty goals in the pre-season. Unless it's for the win at the death. They want tries here. It's Moser from dummy half. Comes back from falls. Here's Hoyter taking some stopping. Good ball carrier, Deloise Hoyter. Stopped there by Parker and also Brandon Wakeham as falls. Puts it out the back. By Tower bumping away from one defender, then Grubbers, ad-lib play. Faulolo under pressure, does well. Bat it beyond the dead ball line, and the Broncos will have 6 more tackles.
Clever piece of play there. Cutting back the short side. Lovely grubber kick into the in goal. Half a chance for the Brisbane chase, but it's set up nicely for the Manly defender, Clayton Faulolo. Good chance to build on this, though.
New tackles inside the 20. Brad Parker gets a breather for the moment. The Seagulls, we'll see what game time he plays in the second half. Shallow restart, well done by Ethan Quai-Ward, who will bring it back towards the 20. Skips across the red line, in fact. Stopped there by Condon and also Humphries. Moser finds falls. Toa is there. Takes it towards the 10, where he stopped pretty quickly by Jacob Sykes, who's on deck now for Manly. Falls through the hands of Hoyter, popped out the back. There was a chance there. So Cooper Page-Wilson on that right-hand side had a chance to keep it going. Instead, he's gone straight back to the Seagulls.
Well, he got his arm free. Deloise Hoyter was there in support as Manly cough it up. It was Bailey Hodgson trying to get his team out of the red zone there. Pass just went behind him. Beautiful flick pass, just had a Manly player there waiting for it though. And then Hodgson, just the pass slightly behind him. And when it does go behind you need to be extra attentive to where it is, and he thought he could just pull it in and he didn't.
See what they work towards here. Hodgson out the back, shake of the head, realises he's under his team here as far as pressure inside their red zone from the back of the scrum. Here's Rogers. One off the scrum win. A bit of stopping right there. Wakeham did well with the help of Jacob Sykes. Short side. They try and crash their way in. They've got there pretty comfortably. It was Ethan O'Neill on this left-hand side who's gone close. He might have got a whack in the eye for his trouble.
I think he did, and he's in a bit of strife, isn't he? Nice flat ball, and I thought he'd be stopped, but he just kept going into the in-goal area. Plenty of Manly defence on him.
It's Bailey Hodgson here who watched that left hand, desperate to lock up the ball and caught the eye of O'Neill on the way through. 24-year-old here in some discomfort, still down inside the in-goal area. Between Seagull, a few seasons back, made the switch to the Central Capras. So many of these players on display here. This team basically made up of those from the Wynnum Manly Seagulls, and also the South Logan Magpies. Two feeder options for the Brisbane Broncos. O'Neill looks like he'll be okay to continue on. Over the Rabbitohs New South Wales Cup last season. Of course, they won the New South Wales Cup in 2023, going on to play in the State Challenge. Successful there as well as Saitawa. Inside the 10, will play it underneath the almost the arches of the Bob Fulton stand. From Falls, it comes across to Hoyter here. Plays it quickly enough. Moser goes flat. Arch their way back towards the uprights. Good tackle there on Cooper Page Wilson. Moser, short ball, and they're in. Crash ball for Kololo Saitawa, and they've levelled things up at 10 points apiece.
Well, he's short, but he's very strong, Saitawa, and we've seen him. He was the man that put the grubber kick in to get the repeat set. A few minutes ago, they get an extra set, and Moser, first of all, he gives Page Wilson a run at the line, and then off the back of a reasonably quick play, the ball just gets on the outside of Austin Diaz, who was the marker. So he holds him up, and that takes him out of play, and then there's just two defenders. And again, I think one of them is Hodgson. He's not a big man in the front line, but boy, he's powerful, Saitawa.
He's played 6 seasons with the Wynnum Manly Seagulls and on a training trial deal in this pre-season with the Brisbane Broncos at 27 years of age. I mean, they are flush for hookers, quite obviously, with Corey Pakes, although that situation could change. Pakes is signed until the end of 2025. But if he's able to move on, secure himself a deal elsewhere in the NRL, or as we said, in the Super League, then might be a chance for Saitawa to impress and find himself on the fringes of the top 30, or maybe as one of the development players.
Well, he's made a good start since on the field. He's done some good things, Warren. Very powerful. We saw him crash his way through a few of the Manly defenders on their own line.
Blake Moser has looked good, hasn't he? Coming off the bench midway through this first half in place of Corey Pakes. An important penalty, heads-up piece of play to keep the pressure on. And off the back of that pressure, they've scored to take the lead here at 12 points to 10. This is game 3 of 4 on this. It's an outsized edition of Super Saturday. Speaking of outsized, Benjamin Takura is back on deck. Take it a Mudgee beyond full time in this one. And the Dragons and the Tigers. Should be a big crowd up there for the annual pre-season game. It's been the venue of the Charity Shield in past years between the Dragons and the Rabbitohs. The Dragons take a game against the Tigers. So Mudgee here in February as Moser from dummy half comes out to Rogers. They keep it going. Hands on this left-hand side. They're almost away again with Paxton having to put the brakes on. Takes the tackle though. 2 plays left in the set. Inside Tower again. Spins away from the tackle there of Humphries. Keeps it going back to Page Wilson. Now Falls. Look like a forward pass. Play on the call though. Away to Pereira down the sideline. He keeps it alive. It comes back to Tamane. standing in a tackle. Before he's wrapped up there by Max Lehman. Last tackle for Brisbane. Looking for their third try. Falls, Grubbers, awkward bouncing ball there. Cleaned up by Cameron Brown. And Manly hang on, but only just.
Well, it might have been a bit of karma, Warren, because we're in line with that pass. That was a metre forward. Touchy didn't see that one. In your box, there we go. That's
It looks forward live, and even more so watching it in replay.
Yes. Yes.
NRL, of course, trial technology regarding forward passes. In past off seasons, they've elected to go without it. Now here's a penalty. The Manly Seagulls jumping the gun and being in front of the point where the ball was played on the kick. One of the parts of the game. There's a bit of a crackdown on to begin.
Here it is. Just watch where players have gone past to play the ball. Only by a metre or two, but that's you can't be complacent on it. And we'll continue to get. They'll get it out of the game soon.
They will. Madison it was. Now the ball coming back. So Taylor there plays it for Moser, and they go on a little left side raid. Good kick at the line. A chance reaching out to plant it down for Sione Hopewati. Just before the halftime siren, a Hopewati scoring at famous Brookvale.
Well, that was a very clever kick there, and it looked like Faulolo was going to be too good and too quick to get to the ball first. Looked like he had a swing at it, and here it is. It's Moser out of dummy half, down that short side. That's a great kick. Joshua Paxton. And we want to look at that again. He had to dive, and he timed his dive as the ball was on the ground. It looked like he might have got it down, but did it pop up? Faulolo had a kick at the ball.
In the pre-season challenge, I'm prepared to say green lights.
That's good. That's good.
That angle there shows the hand in contact with the ball all the way down. Let's watch it again. Faulolo extends the foot, fingers on the ball all the way. That's a try.
Left hand just stays on it. That's all it has to, but ball was on the ground. He timed it perfectly. Any higher and the ball would have definitely come free of his hands.
Terrific kick by Joshua Paxton, as you said. Now here we go.
Looking at grounding and
the bunker wants to take a look at the grounding. Well, we've had a look at both.
Kick chasers are all onside.
Show the hand in contact with the ball all the way down. What's the right hand here as well? Right hand in contact with the ball.
The Broncos player has two hands on the ball. The Manly player illegally kicks the ball out. And we have no grounding. It'll be a penalty try for kicking the ball out of the hands of the Broncos ball carrier.
It's the pre-season, so you can't get
everyone's just working their way to the kickoff of the real thing. Everyone. That's players, officials, everyone.
Looks like a try. Walks like a try.
It's a try. Yeah, and it's a try for a different reason, not the one we went with, but try nonetheless. I thought the angle from the other side of the field across the try line showed that the hand never came off the ball. Anyway, the Broncos secure the 4 points through a penalty try. So kick from in front. Here's the angle we're talking about, and I thought this just said try. There it is.
Penalty try. Regulation try, it's a try all the same. And of course the advantage is, because it's a penalty try, the conversion attempt from right in front is good from Josh Rogers. And the Broncos, who are very much in the reckoning for the $100,000 in the pre-season challenge, have their third try of the game. And they lead at the break here at 4 Pines Park, 18 points to 10.
We highlight Jamie Humphries, who had a big hand in both tries for the Seagulls, and looking forward to seeing what he comes up with in this second half.
And the Broncos on a deep kick, and it'll hit the deck as well. An awkward bounce touch there by Manly, and the Broncos get an immediate result off the restart.
Put it on the feed, boys.
Well, if that was a kick by design, it was very clever because it split everyone. No one called for the ball either. Very quiet there. I think Faulolo, who was coming forward, should have been the man to take it. He looked like if he kept coming, he would have got himself in a position. But with that bouncing and the touch from Manly, the Broncos now get a centre field scrum and a great opportunity for them.
A real gift here in search of a fourth try. 5 tries for a bonus point. Here's Hoiter. He digs and gets there. There is try number 4. They're ticking off all the various categories they need for the full 15 points up for grabs tonight between these two teams. If they can grab all 15, they'll go ahead of the Roosters on top of the pre-season challenge table. A scrum win off the back of a mistake from the kickoff in the second half, and Hoiter does the rest.
And that's how easy it can happen. Deloise Hoiter off the back of the scrum win. Kurt Falls out the back there. Joseph Tomane coming through and then gets on the outside of his centre. Is able to hold him off with a good palm. That's Cameron Brown. Fend right in the face, comes again, but too late. Momentum carries him into the in-goal area. It was because of this complacency, not thinking. It's important. Position yourself properly from a kickoff. Get to the ball. Otherwise, you find yourself in this sort of situation, a missed tackle, and you give up 4 points, possibly 6.
Not a lot of first-grade experience on the park tonight for both teams, but Deloise Hoiter is one of those who has played some time, of course, in the NRL. 15 games in total. Played just the one for the Broncos in 2023. Plays also for the Manly Seagulls, and see him back there again in 2024 when he's not filling in on occasions for the Broncos. But 22 points to 10, 4 tries now, so 1 more for that bonus point. Then it's over to the line breaks and offloads as they search for a nice little bonus, which would pay for some of the expenses for Las Vegas. They could grab the 100 grand. Rogers just outside the 20. Kicked so far well tonight. This one bending back, it'll just go across the face. It stays at 22 points to 10.
Well, Deloise Hoiter is one of the great examples of perseverance. He got his first taste of the NRL when he played a bunch of games for the Tigers back in 2015. He then had to wait 7 years for another opportunity that came with the Broncos in 2022. He hasn't been able to fully break into that Broncos backline, but he is such a valuable player when it comes to depth. Over 130 games worth of Queensland Cup experience under his belt. Last season alone, he had 11 tries and 14 line breaks in 17 games. I'm told he's been really impressive during the pre-season as well, so captaining the team tonight is a really nice reward.
Now, his carries have been strong. He's taken a lot of stopping, and on that occasion, they couldn't stop him. The error off the kickoff by the Sea Eagles, playing against so many Wynnum Manly Seagulls. Worth a treat.
And that try gets them to 4 tries, Warren, a little bit closer to the win and the collecting of bonus points, which if they collect all 3, they can jump the Roosters.
That they can by 1 point. If they get all 15 points, they go to 29. The Roosters would be on 28. Penalty as well here to the Broncos, so it's all going their way to begin this second half. Benjamin Takura stopped there. The work by Condon, though, a little bit too much as the ball comes free. And more metres coming cheaply here for the Broncos. The Raiders have a chance. 15 points last week in the pre-season challenge. And then the Tigers, in the 4th game here on Super Saturday, they're up next. They're the other team who have a chance. They're also on 14 points going into tonight's game against St George Illawarra. Here is Kurt Falls. Comes out the back as they keep going through. Prudence Toyer away to his right-hand side. They'll play it just outside the 30. Moser feverishly back towards the middle where try scorer from the first half side. Tower playing in the lock forward role has been very good. Pass there from Falls goes to ground, cleaned up by the Sea Eagles, and Max Lehman it is who had the second try of the game. Will play it here just inside the 20.
Didn't they need that, the Manly Sea Eagles? An error from the Brisbane Broncos, who really have, well, either side of half-time. They've scored 3 tries in 5 minutes. Grabbing one in the opening minute of the second half, 2 tries in the final 3 minutes of the first half. That's the sort of run Manly need. Toff Sipley just up over halfway.
Sort of run they'll miss in the opening weeks of the season as he serves the suspension. Suffered off the back of the tackle last week. The crusher tackle on Dom Young up there at Gosford in the game against the Roosters.
Well, the fact that he's out, Sean Kepi's moved to South Sydney, leaves him a little short for the opening 3 weeks.
Wakeham, kick here. Hopewadi under pressure, who grabbed that 4-pointer just before the half-time siren. Great put down in the in goal. It was eventually ruled a penalty try by the bunker. We had him scoring it nonetheless anyway, as the Broncos worked it away from inside their 20, and Rogers comes back to Jordan Pereira, one of those with plenty of first-grade experience in this Broncos lineup tonight. Playing it there as we work it through the middle. Here's Hoyter taking a charge. What a run that was. Quick play the ball as well. Moser comes back to Falls off the outside of the boot. Wants some more depth. Pereira flying. Good catch by Lehman, but he's under pressure. Falls grabs it, and only the ankle tap by Hodgson stops him running away to score.
Well, Lehman did a remarkable job. He caught one in the first half right on the sideline. Does it again. He just took an extra couple of steps too many and found himself going across the touchline. Just hurled it back in. Kurt Falls picks it up. Brisbane, will turn it over.
Put down by Ben Takura. Big Ben can't hang on to that one when they were on the charge, and he would have been something to stop from close range. Watch Lehman again, who, as you say, makes the great catch, Brandy, but then finds himself in trouble. Good work by Joseph Tamane, who manhandled him.
Got up underneath him there and drove him across the touchline. Kurt Falls comes up with the pass that was thrown back on the inside, and Ben Takura just puts one down. A couple of Brisbane errors now, just taking the pressure off the Sea Eagles.
They can work their way out of trouble here as Hodgson takes the carry from the scrum wing. On this left-hand side, the Broncos rather flat-footed down the short side there. Good run made by Kobe Ruggless out there. Back up dummy half for the Sea Eagles as Jamie Humphries is still working in that role. Looks like Ruggless will take up a position on the left-hand side of the back line as it turns out. Now Sipley trying to offload, had the ball knocked down by Saitawa, and it will be a knock-on against Manly. And Brisbane in good field position have a chance here. Is Toff thinking about a challenge? No.
I don't think so. No, I think they might have got away with one anyway. I thought there was a touch by Bailey Hodgson there. Whether he said that went back or not, there was definitely a touch. Sipley just trying to offload the ball. There's no problem there. Saitoa doing his best to stop the pass, but force the error.
Here are the Broncos, just outside the 30. So Moser at the back of the scrum. Rogers away to Kai Ward, who tried to force it. Knocked down there. Tackled by Haleta. And it will be a knock-on against the Sea Eagles once again, and the Broncos will hang on to it. Knock-ons both ways in the end.
Yeah, it looked like they got created the 2-on-1 there. Kai Ward getting to the outside of Faulolo and getting to the winger, Haleta, who was just able to get his hands on the ball and knock it down.
Heads in, backstay, backstay. Blake,
Stop-start period of the game after a blinding start by the Broncos after half-time. Ball put down here Knock on by the Broncos this time. Real mix-up there as Tamane ran a hole, or he was trying to find a hole back on the inside. The pass missed him comfortably. The Broncos are going to say the pass went backwards and was cleaned up by Kurt Falls.
They're claiming that he was tackled without the ball.
Yeah, I thought he was tackled without the ball. I thought it missed him horribly because contact was made before the ball got to him. Let's just wait and see if...
We're going to determine if there is a knock-on from the Bronco.
Well, he didn't. He wasn't even...
The contact with defender is simultaneous at the ball arriving. Just need to determine what the ball strikes.
He didn't even play it.
No, he thought he was a decoy and a decoy only.
It's touched the top of his arm, I would think.
So we're going to determine what part of the body the ball strikes the Broncos player.
The back of his arm.
Based on available angles, the challenge is unsuccessful. There's a knock-on against the Broncos.
No more challenges, boys. Time on, Manly feed.
And the ruling by the bunker is...
No more challenges, scrum, boys.
The Manly player, Kobe Ruggless, came after the ball made contact with Joseph Tamane. What did you think of that one, video referee Alexander?
You know, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. The fact that Joseph Tamane wasn't even looking at the ball, that sort of negates everything in his favour.
Yeah.
Hold, break.
Off the scrum win. Seagulls who will work it away here. Tyler Bunting is also out there, 5'8" at halfback. Some interesting changes made here by Wayne Lampkin, who's in charge tonight with Anthony Seabold and the crew. Jim Dimmick watching on from stateside. Sykes it is, takes it across the halfway line. Chance for Manly to try and hit back. Trailing by 12. Humphries back in the dummy half roll. Here is Bunting, who tips it on. Condon just outside the 30. Humphries, Bunting, back to Humphries. The tackle there made by Josh Stuckey, who's playing on this right edge of the Broncos forward pack. Hodgson goes back to Tarsi James. Good stop there. Tower and Takura amongst them. Wakeham at the line. Gives it off to Sykes, who gets that left arm up on the chin of Blake Moser. Play on is the call. The Sea Eagles with two more plays. Wakeham comes through the hands of Madison. Bunting. Hodgson taking the ground there, jamming in. Good work by Pereira, a long way in from his right wing. Here's the last. Wakeham, the kick for the corner. Kai Ward is there, a little juggle. He ended up with it. They drilled him back into the in-goal area, and this should be a goal line dropout.
Well, this is the first period for a long time now, certainly in this second half, that Manly have been down this end. Manly get to put some pressure on. Quality kick there, right on the spot. Jump from the field of play. And 12 points behind, needs some points.
Are you going short here?
Yes, I'm going short all the time.
Kurt Falls is on the same page as you. It's a very good kick as well. There was a blocker there who took down Ethan Kai Ward. Play on is the call. And he's run into a Manly potential catcher. Play on. Here's Toff Sipley. Big bodies colliding there. Bailey Butler helping out over the top from the Broncos. From Humphries to the left-hand side. They've got them. They unpicked them. Some sweet hands again. Max Lehman has his second for the night.
Well, they get the result off the line dropout. And a couple of tackles later, Max Lehman in the far corner gets the Seagulls a little bit closer, reducing this 12-point gap. Well, maybe not ran into him. He probably took a step towards the chaser there. Could have easily been penalised. And a beautiful ball out to the winger.
Nice hands here by Tyler Bunting, who is out there. They've only been out there a few minutes now. A couple of chances working in combination with Jamie Humphries, and now a lovely ball there to beat the outstretched arms of Jordan Pereira, and Lehman flies in for number 2. He can catch them up against the sideline. He can certainly finish them as well.
Yeah, it was a good ball from Bunting. And Bunting was a former Panther junior that made the move to play SG ball here in Manly. Played Harold Matts for the Panthers and made the move. Played a couple of seasons with the Manly SG ball team. Graduating now and getting a shot here in the pre-season challenge.
Says he bases his game on the great Cooper Cronk. Working tonight, watching on. This is synopsis of what he's seen in game 3 of 4, with one more to come between the Dragons and the Tigers out at Mudgee beyond this.
Good man to copy.
Couldn't have done it any better, the great C. Cronk, than what Tyler Bunting did just then. Humphrey's conversion attempt, but way to the left-hand side. It stays at 22 points to 14.
Well, that's more like it from Manly. I've heard directly from Manly's camp in Vegas. It is 12:12 a.m. and I can tell you Anthony Seibold and his staff are gathered around a phone watching on, and Max Lehman has given them something to cheer about over there.
Like what they've seen from Max Lehman out here on the left-hand side tonight for the Seagulls, the 24-year-old. It's a game that's filled with 24, 25, 26-year-olds. Players have been thereabouts and on the fringe of NRL squads for a number of years, but just can't quite crack it. And put Max Lehman in their number tonight. But he's shown, as have many over the past 2 weekends, that if we are expanding in the NRL in the years ahead, there's a bit of talent floating around, Brandy.
When you think about all the teams that play in the New South Wales Cup, the Queensland Cup, there's Ron Massey Cup, there's the Sydney Shield. So there's 3 open age competitions that are played here in Sydney. Then extend that up to Queensland. There's a lot of overaged or men playing rugby league. A lot.
Well, we're going to need some to fill at least 1, if not 2, maybe even 3 teams. If at some stage down the track we get to 20 teams, and that's the goal of Chairman Peter V'landys, who's extended his deal to stay in that role. The ARLC in the last 7 days. There's a fair bit of talent floating around. Don't forget, NRL 360 is back this week as they head to Las Vegas. Our coverage begins Thursday, 6:30 p.m. with 360, leading into our exclusive season opener between the Sea Eagles and the Rabbitohs from Allegiant Stadium next Sunday afternoon. Brandy, the anticipation, the hype, it just continues to build.
I can't remember. I can't remember a push. And it's fantastic, isn't it? The excitement around the start of the NRL season this year has been going since we finished last year. The moment we clocked off with the premiers, all of a sudden, bang, it was 2024. What are we doing? We're going to Vegas to start the competition.
Rugby League arrives in the entertainment capital of the world. What a show they're going to put on the boys. Here's the Broncos. See if they can clips the Roosters at the head of the pre-season challenge ladder. Look at Ben Takura, 6'9", 205 centimetres of him. He's just 19 years of age. Moser, a grubber, off the Sea Eagles. Penalty here to Manly.
Takura offside. The little grubber kick there from Blake Moser. Didn't find the space he wanted it to. Came off a Manly foot, and Takura jumped on the ball, or played at it, which means Manly get an easy passage out of their own end. Oh, he nearly missed it, Blake Moser. That was I don't know what he was thinking there.
He would have been what's called passive, having played the ball there, Ben Takura, but he did play at the ball, and you've got to be passive. You can't be playing at the footy. The reason he was offside is Madison playing it here, and now Sipley. A couple of nice runs after coming back onto the field in this second half. We've got 23 minutes remaining. Here's Wakeham at the line, goes out the back. Hodgson trying to step in traffic, wrapped up there. And Wakeham back through the middle once again. Madison sends it wide. Condon out here through Ruggless, and then Lehman, big fin there on Joseph Tamate. Comes again Tamate after Pereira wrapped him up around the legs. Last play, Wakeham kicks towards the near side, standing underneath it. Good catch made by Credence Toya. He hasn't had a lot of work to do under the high ball in this game. In fact, it was Deloise Hoyter who was back there in the fullback role. So Rogers, his left-hand side. Here is Sione Hopewadi. We saw his younger brother Lehigh playing for the Seagulls last week up there at Gosford against the Roosters, one of 11 siblings. So much rugby league talent. And now Moser scouting out towards the left edge. One more play for the Broncos. Still searching for more offloads. And line breaks if it'd tick all the boxes and get all the 15 points. Oh boy, he's had such a good game, Max Lehman, but that one just dipping away from him. Maybe the southerly that's just perked up a little bit, brought a bit of rain with it, didn't help him here.
And even though he nearly got there and he got his fingertips to the ball, he always looked like he was going to fall short of getting completely underneath that one. You're right, it wasn't the perfectly struck spiral kick, which meant that it just didn't go as far as Max Lehman thought it was going to travel. 8 points between the two teams, 4 tries to the Broncos, and a real opportunity here. Centre field, 20 metres out.
4 tries, 4 line breaks for the Broncos as they search to try and make it 5 in both those tallies in this set of 6. Corey Paix is back out there, the dummy half role. Blake Moser, breather for the moment. Moser stays on the field though, playing the halves on the left-hand side. Now Kurt Falls. So Moser out there looking after 5/8 rolls for Josh Rogers. Here's Falls going backwards though. And a strong tackle made there by Tarsi James. Takura looking for a quick play the ball. Searches for the ground. Finds it as Paix jumps out from dummy half. Bailey Butler charging hard. He's gone close. And in the end, Condon was underneath him. They dive from dummy half, and it's Corey Paix. He gets try number 5 and line break number 5. So 2 bonus points there should the Broncos go on to win this one.
Corey Paix just back on at the dummy half position too, with Blake Moser pushing out to the halves. Yep, man on the ground. Bailey Hodgson on the left-hand side. And again, the fullback has had an unhappy time close to the line. Not a big man, and he's found plenty of traffic coming his way when they've been close. The Broncos just getting through the Hodgson tackle. And with no one else to give him a hand, well, it was an easy one for Corey Paix. Easy, and off the back of the error from Manly, which gave them a scrum centre field 20 metres out, they were able to do enough. Big Ben Takura with a hit up and a quick play the ball off the back of that, another front rower, and that was that Paige Wilson who took it forward and got another play the ball that was quick enough to see Corey Paix get out.
So Rogers, who remains on the field out there with Moser as well. So they've got Falls, Moser and Rogers on the field at the same time here, the Broncos. It's all hands too for them. Conversion is good. He makes it 28 points to 14. They've got the 5 tries. They've got the 5 line breaks. Now the only question mark for the full 15 points is can they get to 10 offloads for 15 points to eclipse the Roosters, who lead the pre-season challenge ladder at the moment on 28 points. World Club Challenge tomorrow morning, Brandy. Your Panthers, they take on the reigning Super League champions in Wigan. You'll see it all live on Fox League from 6:30 a.m. Our coverage beginning there. How are the boys? No doubt you've been talking to the camp.
They're ready, Woz. They're ready. Conditions won't be great for them. It's cold. It's below 5 degrees. It'll be slippery, but they're ready to win Penrith's first World Club Challenge trophy.
Looking for a little bit of redemption after being beaten at home. A very impressive win by St Helens last year, which was part of the pre-season challenge itself in 2023. The motivation tomorrow for the Panthers in their first hit out for the new season. But a big trophy on the line. We'll see that, as we said, tomorrow from 6:30 a.m. right here on Fox League. Pakes jumping out from dummy half, linking up with another number 9 in Blake Moser. Back into Manly territory. Offloads should be the order of the day here for the Broncos. They win the game, of course. They lead by 14. 17, almost 18 minutes remaining as the kick goes in from Kurt Falls. Pressure on Lehman. Sort of contest there with his own fullback as Hodgson came forward, but it was Lehman who's back to his sure-handed ways. Good grab by the left winger. So the offloads at the moment for the Broncos. They're on 6. They need 10 for that extra point to skip ahead of the Roosters. Now, from their own 20, taking it forward. The line there from Hodgson, who really can step in traffic, can't he? Now carry. Quick play the ball as well by Caleb Navali, the Fijian international in the Pacific Championships last year for the island nation. Bringing it back here is Hopewadi, standing tackle. He'll play at 15 short of the halfway line for the Broncos as Kai Ward just takes a settler while the forwards get themselves back on side and ready to take a run.
Navali's very good with the ball in his hands. Jersey Flag Player of the Year last year for the Seagulls. Pacific Championships for Fiji, so big rise.
He's been re-signed as well by the Seagulls for another 3 seasons. I really like what he brings to the table. Good outball here by Rogers. Kai Ward goes back on the inside through the hands of Paxton. Falls. Here's Hopewadi. Back to Kurt Falls. Another Brisbane Broncos try. Some very good passing again on that left-hand side. Kurt Falls has an issue, but he grabs 4 more points to take them beyond 30.
Well, he's getting the cramps pushed out by his teammates, but terrific play from the number 7 for the Broncos. Pakes out a dummy half, quick offload, nice ball, little touch there. Kai Ward did a job to keep it alive, then Falls wrapping around back down the short side. Great play between him and his winger, Sione Hopewadi. He touched the ball 3 times in that movement, Kurt Falls. Tries all his. And extends the lead here at Brookvale Oval.
You mentioned the Kai Ward offload, number 7 for the Broncos, now within 3 of getting the full 3 bonus points, plus the 12 points for the win in the pre-season challenge.
So does Matt Ballin send out a message? 15 to go? Well, like, I think he does. I would be.
Not as though they're working on combinations for the first grade team ahead of round 1, are they? Given we have a team made up of players almost evenly split between the South Logan Magpies and also Wynnum Manly. So a lot of these players won't even be playing together in the Queensland Cup.
No, they'll be split. So let's do our best to get $100,000 for the club and win the pre-season challenge.
It's got to be a priority.
Is Matt Ballin listening? I hope so.
Just nick next door and just tell Matt.
Like everything else is secured. Tries, line breaks.
Sure, you won't mind you busting into the coach's box, Brandy, saying
It's been done
offload,
before.
Matty, offloads. Rogers converts. 34 points to 14. So they've got the game well in hand with 14 minutes remaining, unless there's a miracle here from Manly at the death. That was a great outball from Rogers. Equally good offload. And then Paxton, he's had some nice touches, hasn't he? A little rubber for Hopewadi to score right before half-time, and then heads up piece of play there to go out to the left-hand side for Hopewadi, who brings it back on the inside for this man, Kurt Falls.
Yeah, he certainly played an important part in it, Paxton.
Stay back here.
So in front of a national audience right here on Fox League, Queensland Cup players and New South Wales Cup players on both sides of the equation here tonight, taking their chance to show what they can do. No doubt, recruitment officers, scouts watching on, looking at perhaps holes they have in their top 30 at the moment. Plenty of spots still to be filled.
A number of
17 clubs.
Yeah, a number of clubs have still got 2 or 3 spots to fill and need to do it pretty quickly. On March 1, you've got to have 29.
Games like this in the pre-season challenge certainly give you a chance to show what you can do for those who are, as we said, in their mid-20s, looking for an opportunity somewhere. Pakes finds Rogers, puts it in the air. Hodgson coming forward under pressure there. It was a good catch, and he was taken in mid-air. And that's one of the areas they're really emphasising as far as contact on catches in 2024. You can't tackle them in mid-air, but you certainly also can't come forward pretending you're looking at the ball and just make contact with the catcher, whether you're tackling him or not. I'm sure we'll see a few instances of that in the early weeks of the new season.
Yeah, if you are genuinely trying to catch the ball, there's no problem with that. But if you're just coming through just to put the fullback off and you make contact with him, well, I can understand and it warrants a penalty.
And there's Manly back at the halfway line. Austin Diaz playing it for Chan Kum Tong back on deck. And here on this left-hand side, Kobe Ruggless, who at one stage was an underage boxing champion in his mid-teens before focusing on rugby league. Wakeham's pass here, knocked down by the Sea Eagles. I thought there might have been a touch there by a Bronco on the way through. Grant Atkins, the referee, says no, it was all Manly. Watch it again, it was.
Okay, I thought it was touched by a Bronco, and I thought he signalled that, but...
We've got a Manly captain's challenge for a knock-on ruling.
I think it was off the not a Bronco. It was off the shoulder of Sykes. Was it running a line on that right-hand side? Backwards from our vantage point. We'll watch it again. There's
We're going to
Sykes.
determine
It
if
bounced off him.
Manly knocked the ball on.
And then backwards off the hands of Hodgson, who cleaned it up. I reckon this will be play on.
Just looking for an alternate angle to see if the ball initially goes forward into the body before then going backwards. The ball goes backwards for Manly. And Bailey Hodgson is tackled in possession of the ball.
So the ball did deflect off the shoulder of Sykes, I'm pretty sure, but backwards all the same to Hodgson, and then backwards off his hands as well. So
Tackle 4.
hang on
Tom
to
on.
it. And the challenges have been well used tonight, haven't they?
Well, they have.
5, let go!
Not from Brisbane. I think Brisbane have done their dash.
Here is Wakeham, who puts it in the air. Flying high. And they certainly have utilised the challenge well, as it's back now through carried by Ethan Kaiwar, but he's monstered there in a strong tackle. Up in his face was James Yuselli. Valley also there. Numbers in the tackle again. Condon and Diaz here for the Seagulls. Too long for Ben Condon. Not the first time tonight.
Yeah.
He's gone on too long in the tackle for that North Queensland Cowboy.
And you know what he did? He buried his head into the head of Sione Popawani there, who was bringing the ball out. And that's not on. Like, you don't put your head in the head of the other player to keep them on the ground. Let's watch. Yeah, get your head out.
That sort of stuff has been out of the game for some time now, certainly at this level.
Ben hasn't got the email about it.
It would seem not. Here's Moser. Rogers. Back down to the rooms afterwards, just giving a little nod. Hey, Ben, no more of that silly stuff in the tackle. No more rubbish on the face. There's known in 2024 and beyond. A kick here, chasing through. Popawani was thinking about a second try off a kick here, and the ball has just beaten him into touch. 10 minutes remaining. 34-14 here. The Broncos over the Seagulls. The Dragons and the Tigers. They're next from Mudgee. Up there at Glen Willow Oval. Always a real treat to go out to a game there.
Beautiful.
Glen Willow. And before we go to the Red Heifer, have a steak brandy. One of the great steak houses in New South Wales. Terrific town is Mudgee. Jealous I'm not up there. The Dragons and the Tigers go around in the pre-season challenge. Dragons looking to find a bit of form after going down last week in the Charity Shield to the Rabbitohs. Their fans will be watching on anxiously, as will the Tigers, of course. As for the Tigers, off the back of two wooden spoons in succession, the only way is up. Their fans are certainly hoping for this new year. Hodgson comes back here to Tyler Bunting coming across. Always Hoyter in the fullback role, makes a good grab there. To Mane, under pressure. And the Broncos trying to work it away. Inside 10 minutes remaining. Offload, watch. Still at 7. They need 3, Brandy, in the final 10.
I'm thinking there's been no message from Matt Ballin to say, boys, we need 3 offloads for possibly 100,000.
Here's Moser out of dummy half. The Raiders and the Tigers can have something to say about that. The Raiders all 15 points last week, so should they accrue 15 again tomorrow by beating the Cowboys at Seaford Oval, they would be the pre-season challenge champions, as the Sea Eagles were last year. Mistake here. Blake Moser with a kick. Just a bit too much on it.
Yeah, disappointing for the Broncos. A couple of wayward kicks from Blake Moser, one short and the long one there out in the full.
Bunting working on this left-hand side. Comes across to Seller, who will play it 30 out from the Broncos line. Chan Kum Tong is there. Wakeham puts it on to Tyler Bunting. They keep wrapping to the right-hand side. Chan Kum Tong, in fact, looking back to the middle where Caleb Navali is there, keeps it going through the hands. Selly takes the carry. Might have been hurt, though. He'll slump back to his haunches after playing the ball. Bunting goes to Hodgson, saw some space. It closed pretty quickly. Good work by Patson this time defensively. He's had a good game, the edge forward. Kick across the field. Condon flying, got a grab on it. And now the ball comes free. Hoyter it is, who ends up with it. The referee happy with the contact on Condon back on top of the try line. Was it a shoulder charge, or was there a wrapping motion there from one of the defenders?
Oh, no, probably not. No, I don't think there was a wrapping motion, but he just turned his back. But you're talking about collisions and contact. There was no attempt by the... And that player was Haletta, the winger. No attempt to catch the ball, just collided with Ben Condon.
That's Paige Wilson. They'll play it there in the middle of the field. Ben Condon still down off the back of that contact in mid-air, going for the high ball. Josh Rogers angles in, pops it out the back. Cleaned up here by Clayton Faulolo. He can scoot, runs towards Hoyter, who gets to him, offloads though. Wakeham keeps it coming, and then it was put down by Kobe Ruggless. Chance bombed by the Sea Eagles there.
It was, wasn't it? Great play from Faulolo. He's done some clever things over the last couple of weeks. First time I've had a look at him. Very good. Gets the ball, beats 3 defenders, and is able to pop the pass that should have led to something a little bit more. Brandon Wakeham, the long ball out to Ruggless. Catch and pass, and they had the overlap. It was our man, Max Lehman, unmarked, ready to scoot down the left touchline.
Skipping back through the middle of the field. Ward here, taken down by Sykes with Navali over the top. Moser out of dummy half. Finds Paxton. And they'll play it on the last, just outside the 10. They need some offloads. Goes from Rogers. They'll score. Perhaps they didn't really need to score right there. They needed more offloads. But it is that man, Josh Paxton, off the back of a good game, grabs his own 4-pointer.
Very impressive, hasn't he? Joshua Paxton lined up with the Broncos last week as well. They picked their many of the players that are in Vegas now. Pretty strong lineup. But Paxton scoring this one. Had a game last week too. Done some very good things tonight with his kick, his pass, his run now. Beats a couple of tackles on the way to the line. And they keep racking up the tries, but there's been no advancement on the offload.
Paxton putting his hand up again tonight, showing what he can do, the 25-year-old. Comes from Lismore originally, played his junior footy with Maris Brothers. He's a builder by trade. And was back there, of course, off the back of the floods in Lismore in his hometown, helping out with the devastation. And his building skills and carpentry skills certainly are handy amongst all the clean-up back there in Lismore. And he's done his hometown proud here tonight. Live on Fox League, scores a try. Very impressive on the left edge. Josh Paxton. Rogers bends it back over the black dot, and the points keep on coming for the Brisbane Broncos. They've reached 40 at 40 points to 14. At the moment, locked on 28 pre-season challenge points with the Roosters branding. Offloading that movement takes them to 8, and they've got 4 minutes remaining for 2 more to get the full 15 points.
I'm backing them in. I think they'll get there, which will lift them to 29 points, 1 ahead of the Roosters. And as you said, we've got the Tigers and the Raiders tomorrow. Still a chance to run down if it is the Broncos.
They're plus 52 in the points differential to the Roosters 50, so they are ahead of them on that scale. They need the extra point with the Raiders on 15 points. Of course, as we said, playing the Cowboys 3 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Daylight Time at Seaford Oval. Well, the Broncos, they didn't need that. A strip against them. It'll cost them the best part of 60 seconds without the ball right here.
Yeah, Ruggless getting the strip. Players drop off. Ruggless pulls the ball out. So Manly with possession. We've got 3.5 minutes to go.
Here's Diaz, the edge of the 20. Plays it for Bunting, and now Wakeham. Hodgson skipping to the outside. Lehman under pressure. Good right edge defence there by the Broncos. Pakes with Tamane and also Pereira on his outside. 2 plays left in this set. Through Chan Kum Tong. Long ball there. Ends up in the arms of the right winger. Watson hasn't seen too much action in this second half. He's gone close. It was knocked dead. It will be a goal line dropout, and still precious seconds for the Broncos ticking away.
Aletta, good job to keep that ball in play. And Kai Ward, was it, that knocked it dead?
Go short, try and get the ball back here, and then desperately need 2 offloads. Well, they drill one hard and low towards the sideline, but Lehman says thank you very much. And accommodates that bouncing ball pretty easily. And we've got just on 2 minutes remaining. Here's Madison. Back to Yuselli, who just charges hard towards the uprights. Chan Kum Tong looking at the back, saying who wants it. Playmaker screaming in his ear. Wakeham on the inside for Sykes. Brings it back his way into the in goal. It'll stop the game. Certainly won't help the Broncos with just over 1:40 left. If they do get the ball back here, it's going to be a rapid-fire attempt at a couple of offloads.
Or just charge into the defence, turn the back and offload.
See what they do if they do get the ball back.
Tackle 3, time on. Go.
Chan Kum Tong from dummy half. Diaz, Bunting, left-hand side. Dean Madison running a line. He was the rising star for the Seagulls last year. Well, this is a disaster for the Broncos if they are trying to get the ball back in search of that extra bonus point. Chan Kum Tong takes a few more seconds off the clock. They'll go with a big shift to the right-hand side. Under pressure there, Hodgson getting up in his face. Ethan Kai Ward. Good stop. They're back at the 20. Paulalo on the second play. Rubbers. Nobody knew it was coming. Caleb Navali. He reaches out and he thinks he scored. Grant Atkins, on the other hand,
We've got a no
he
try.
disagrees and
Can we check
says
on the way in any
no
interference on the
try.
kicker, and then if there's a grounding from Manly.
If he hasn't scored, the Broncos will get it from their 20 with the 61 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Navali's reactions after
Yeah, just looking
he
to see if
immediately
there's any
went for the ball.
interference on the kicker.
Well, no, he just ran into a group of defenders there. I don't think anyone really, unless it was Austin Diaz who stepped back in. Well,
The Brisbane defenders just hold their ground. There is no interference on the kicker.
and does he get there, Navali? I'm going to say no was from his initial reaction because he didn't look excited. He put his hand up. No.
The Manly
He got a
player
touch to it.
touches the ball with his arm and knocks the ball on in goal. We have a decision.
Swing and a miss by DeLuise Hoynter and
Just wait there, boys.
Caleb
Navali.
Navali. So the Broncos have it here. 61 seconds remaining from their 20, and
knock
they
on.
need
Right there.
still 2 offloads to the full complement of 15 points
Front feet.
in the
Austin,
pre-season
come
challenge.
back, time on, go.
Pakes. Let's see if they have any idea that they need it. They're ahead on points differential of the Roosters, and they would be 13 points ahead of the Raiders, who play tomorrow against the Cowboys at Seaford Oval. 14 clear of the Tigers, who play next at Mudgee against the Dragons. Moser through Paige Wilson back on the inside. Still no offload in this set. Tackles up their sleeve though, 4 of them. Josh Rogers. And he's
Trying to squeeze one out.
Stuckey goes to ground with it. Here's Moser. Paige Wilson at the line, looking for an offload. There it is. They're 1 away. 13 seconds.
kicked it.
And Josh Stuckey kicks the ball. Josh Stuckey kicks the ball. They'll finish on 9 offloads. He's smiling, almost as if he realises what the story is. I guarantee you he's got no idea.
No, I don't think any of them did.
So they'll finish 1 offload short of getting 15 points total. They'll finish with 14 from tonight's effort. But a second win in the pre-season challenge for the Broncos tonight here at 4 Pines Park. Too good for the Sea Eagles. They've beaten them comprehensively, as it turns out, 40 points to 14.